Monday. Hope you are doing well. Welcome to Cooped Up Live, should I say. Just a sporadic these days broadcast where I just talk about whatever I want to talk about. While we are waiting on folks to join, coopedup.com is my website. I am actually working on a post at this very moment. Well, right before this very moment for it that I will put up soon. I'm Cooped Up as my handle on all the socials. Would love a follow, particularly if on Instagrams. And wherever you watch or listen to this, it's on Facebook Live, YouTube Live, as well as on the major podcasting platforms in audio format as a replay. Please click the bell, subscribe button, whatever it's called, so that you don't miss a second of the fun. Aaron is sitting in traffic. Hola. Sitting in traffic on 30 right outside your house. Well, I'm waving at you. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, 30 backs up really bad right there. Hey, Mama. How are you? Good to see you. So today was a day off. So both kids had the day off of school today. Claire has the entire week off. It is fall break for her school. Mason's was off for Yom Kippur today. And it was our first time ever having a day off. But all of us were like, why is Mason off on Monday? Then we finally figured it out. It was for Yom Kippur. But so I decided to take the kids out to Meow Wolf, which, if you don't know what that is, Meow Wolf is this. It's kind of art meets like trippy Instagram museum meets all this stuff. The original is out in Santa Fe, and it's been there for ages. It predates all social media. So that was literally just to be an experience. I believe they have a couple more. They have one in Las Vegas. And basically, it's like you walk through this. The one here in Grapevine, it's at Grapevine Mills, starts off as you're walking into a house. The one in Las Vegas, it's a grocery store. I don't know the one in Santa Fe. But you walk through and then things are not as they seem. You open the refrigerator and it's a portal to some other universe. You open the washer and dryer and it's a slide down to the next area, that sort of thing. So it's been open here in the Dallas area for, I think it opened over the summertime. And I hadn't had a chance to check it out, and I knew that today would be a good day to do it. So we went out there. It was a lot of fun. It's one of those things where when you first get into it, you're like, oh my God, it's a little corny, if you will, at first, like just things are so like really overly produced and all that kind of stuff. I actually think this place, it kind of reminded me of Stranger Things in a way. It was kind of like the Upside Down. It's called The Real Unreal is what the theme of this one is. And there's like a little storyline to it that you can follow if you want. You don't have to if you don't. We very loosely followed the storyline. There were some people who were trying to solve like the mystery and running back and forth and all that stuff. But it was really cool, very trippy. It's like some of the, like you walk into the house and you can tell something's not quite right. There's little clues and you can go through everything. I mean, it's like a fully furnished house, drawers full of clothes, someone's purse on a table, bills on the counter, and you can rummage through all of it and look at all of it. And some of it has little clues about what's going on, what you're doing. And then you look over at the fireplace, and the fireplace is an opening. And so you have to get on a lot of crawling. I'll tell you, a lot of crawling. You get on your hands and your knees, and I had to climb through the fireplace. No big deal for the kids. For me, not such an easy thing. There are ways to do the same things without going that way. It's just everything is so interconnected. We ended up like tracking back and all this kind of stuff. But long story short, is a lot of fun. We were gifted tickets to it, but at full price, they are $40 per person, which sounds kind of steep at first. When I first saw it, because I got promo codes. When I first saw that it was $40 per person, I was like, oh, wow, this is a little spendy. But I can see why. It's so well done, and it is so big. We were in it for about 2.5 hours, just wandering. And I don't feel like we weren't like, when is this going to be over? Because you can leave at any moment. There's exits all over the place to get out of this thing, all of that. So Mason got separated from us a couple of times where he would just be looking at something and we would look at something and wander off. And Claire kept closer to me than he did, obviously. They're musical things. So I think that if you have kids, So there was a lot of adults at this thing also, just like as dates or day trips, that sort of thing. Great for adults. I think that it's not childish in the way that it wouldn't um, be that way. What did I get tickets for? Monica says, well, they offered them to me. I think they know that I talk about stuff. They offered them to me, and back in the summertime, and it's just been I haven't been able to go, and so finally this weekend I told them, oh, I can go on Monday, and so I'll probably that's what I'm going to be posting about on Cooped Up soon, and then also I'm going to share some photos on social and some other stuff, but but for kids I think it's cool too because it's there's a lot of it's like a Disney movie in the way that there are uh, uh, different depending on your age and your intellect and all of that, like you may see it in a slightly different way. Like there's this one kind of zone. I can't remember what there was a specific name for the type of zones that they were in. And there's one that was kind of like this trippy, like nature forest, and you could climb the tree, and it was a whole other level up there, and all that kind of stuff. And there was these like mushrooms, and you could just bang on them, and they all lit up. There was this one where you walked into the refrigerator, and you ended up in this big white room full of other refrigerators. Oh, Monica's asking, what am I talking about? It's called Meow Wolf. If you look at it, meow like what the cat does, and wolf like a wolf. That was helpful. And they, like I said, they have multiple locations throughout the country. They just opened the one here in Dallas, and it's kind of like this immersive adventure kind of fun thing. I don't think Todd would have liked it. I think it's a little too trippy for him, a little too whimsical. He tends to be very pragmatic. He is German. But it was fun for us. And there's this one, though, where you are in this room full of refrigerators, and there's an alien at the other side. And there's this button that you push. It's kind of hidden. There's a lot of things that are like hidden. And if you touch them long enough or do it, there's like a secondary thing that happens. So on this one, you're in it, and the alien, and you push the button to make the alien like go rah, like this. If you push and hold the button, for some reason, I noticed that it was getting louder the longer you held the button. And so I pushed and held it long enough that a disco ball dropped from the ceiling, and like all of a sudden it was like a disco in between all these refrigerators. So Monica says, I think there's one in Houston. I saw something that advertised. Maybe it could be. I'm such an influencer. Thank you, Sandy. Carrie and I talk about this all the time. We are the world's worst influencers. That so many people turn to us with advice or wanting to know what we would buy in this situation, or we do post something that we buy and people buy it. Like, and mine's always boring shit. Like I do get commissions on some of the stuff I talk about, like Amazon. I'm an Amazon affiliate member there. And so anytime I share a link, it automatically knows that it was shared by me and blah, blah, blah. I made probably a couple $100 on air fryer sales. And again, I don't do any of it because I'm trying to make the money. I do it because I'm literally trying to share things that I'm really into. But Eric is back to Todd. I adore Todd, but whimsical is not the first word that comes to mind when I think of him. Yes. Oh, that is so true. Anyway, good time though. I would go again. Actually, I would probably go again, just maybe knowing what to do actually in it. Like maybe if you were to go with, well, I could go with my teenage kids. If you go with the young kids will have a good time. They just probably won't keep up with the storyline. That there's like an RV in it that you go. Like someone lives in the desert in an RV, and there's like a radio that if you turn the radio on the stovetop, there is a pot that has 2 hot dogs in it. And if you look at the hot dogs, they have hats on and they're sitting in it like a hot tub. It's really cute, fun stuff like that too. Some of it a little dark, some of it not dark. Really pretty artwork too. There's one zone that is, it looks like a street, like a back alley kind of in Japan. And it's really, really well done. And then there's like this one art area where it's just like a lot of geometric prints and stuff. It's really, really, really pretty too. But even though the kids Claire has this week off and Mason had today off, and then we had the weekend, it does not get us out of practices. So This morning, I had to have Mason at White Rock Lake for a 6:30 a.m. practice. And because he didn't have school afterwards, I had to then bring him home at 7:45 because it was even a longer practice. Fortunately, I just walked for about an hour out there. It was a good time. It was dark at White Rock Lake, though. I was kind of like, am I gonna get eaten by a coyote or something? But it was fine. And then Claire has roller derby that we leave for in about 30 minutes to go to. So we've got that. And then Saturday morning, Mason had to be in Flower Mound. So this is Grapevine Mills is almost in Flower Mound where we were today. So I've beaten that path a couple of times this week. He had to be in Flower Mound at 6:45 a.m. for a cross country meet. He did very well, by the way. It was a very competitive meet, and he improved his time from the last meet by like 2 minutes. It's a 5K, by the way, by like 2 minutes, improved it. And he was only so. Our team has this one kid who's like he's the star kid, and he gets medals and all that kind of stuff. In a race of, I think it was like 200 boys, Mason was only 13 spots behind the star. And I think Mason was holding back at the beginning because he was running with one of his teammates. And finally, after the first lap, it was 3 long laps. They broke apart from each other, and he left the other guy there. So Monica's saying I need a weapon. I know this is like the 3rd time you've told me that. Monica thinks that when I'm walking in the mornings and it's so early that I'm going to get jacked or something. First of all, I don't walk with anything of value. My Apple Watch is the only thing of value that I have on me. Everything else stays in the car or stays at the house. I don't even have my phone on me in most cases because my watch actually is cellular enabled, so I could make an emergency call if I needed to. Fortunately, again, being a 6.5 foot large white man, I think that I don't get fucked with as much as other people might. Anyway, I don't know if you've noticed, but my forehead is not moving quite as much. On Friday, I went and got, I was going to go get Botox, and I get there, and they're like, hey, we've got this other thing. It's called Dysport. And I'm like, okay. And so they put it in my forehead. I can still sort of move my forehead. It's not moving a lot right now. Like, that's me. It takes about 10 days, they said, for the full effects of it. And unfortunately, it's a little unbalanced right now. I think this muscle has relaxed a little bit more than this one. So it looks like I have a droopy eye. It's not. It's just all the skin coming down. And anyway, and that's probably only something I would notice. But anyway, but it was good times. I got it. So you get them across your forehead. The one right here hurt actually a lot, but the rest of them didn't. It was spicy, is what the lady said. There, and then I get it just right under my eyes too, so that I don't squint so much. But yeah, and then I bought a ton of collagen-rich creams and stuff, not from them. Oh, but this place, by the way, is called Tuxedo Club. I posted about it on my socials the other day. It is so fucking cute. It is on this street in our neighborhood called Jefferson Avenue. It's the old main street for when Oak Cliff was its own town. Now Oak Cliff is part of Dallas, but when it was its own town, Jefferson was the main street. It's really cute, like shop fronts and stuff. But it's currently it's mostly quinceañera stores and stuff like that, right? Like some dollar stores, pawn shops. So not the type of store. I'm not going to say that it's like bad stores. All those stores have a purpose. But they're not stores that attract people like me typically. Texas Theater is right there also. That's where they arrested Lee Harvey Oswald. That's where he was hiding after he did or didn't shoot John F. Kennedy. Supposedly there's new evidence that came out recently about that. I saw a headline. I haven't actually read the thing. But anyway, so this is on the same block, but across the street as the Texas Theater. It's called Tuxedo Club. And it is all the Dali vibes. Like they would love this. A big Dali. And there's a painting of Selena next to it that's been there for years. And they put one of Dali right next to Selena. But you walk in and it's got like you would think it would have Dolly music, but it actually has like Dean Martin kind of music, a lot of black and white photos of Sophia Loren, Elizabeth Taylor, that sort of stuff, and then a ton of Dolly all over the place. Really, really fun, kitschy kind of point of view. And then, so sat in the chair, had a good time with the owners. Cute little couple. They live in our neighborhood. But if more of that is coming to Jefferson Avenue, I am there for that. I want to support it as much as I can. Todd thinks it was a little pricier than other places that I've been for similar procedures. And I'm okay with that. I'm only getting it like, 3-4 times a year. If I'm spending $50 more each time to support this type of place, to be in my neighborhood and all that kind of stuff, sign me up. Also, I couldn't even tell you how much. I know how much this one cost because I just did it, but I never remember prices after that. Carrie's on. Howdy, cute haircut. Thank you. I got a haircut on Thursday, I guess. I did fall asleep for about 2 hours earlier, so it's a little. The back of it's kind of jacked up at the moment because I got home from Meow Wolf and took a nap, and actually a nap that worked really well for me. I was. Both times I've driven back from Flower Mound or Grapevine Mills or wherever in the last, 3 days, I did on Saturday and I did today. I have gotten so sleepy in the car on the way back. Like one of those where I'm having to shake my head, to stay awake, turn the radio. I turn the radio to NPR because I find that if it is something that I have to, that I can listen to and concentrate and become part of the story, that it actually, some people would say, oh my God, that's so boring. That would make me fall asleep. It actually, I think, activates my brain better than like a rhythmic thing. Like I think songs actually are more likely to lull me to sleep than listening to a broadcast about, I don't remember what they were broadcasting about. But anyway, Monica wants me to buy a flashlight with a taser. I'll look them up. How about that? I promise you that. Do they make them where they can just like strap on your wrist though? Because I don't want to be holding something. I do have a small, like it's almost like a fanny pack, but it's thin. It's called a runner's belt that I put on my waist to put the car key in because I don't want it bouncing in my pocket. So maybe I could put it in there when I'm done. Because by the time, it's only like the first 10, 15 minutes of the walk that it's dark. It's amazing how quickly it gets light once it starts to get light. Unlike sunset where it takes forever. What else do I have? Big story though, now that I've got most of you on. So Saturday night, this is, I've texted some of y'all about this. So Saturday night, so backstory, I'm trying to use the right verbs so I don't give it away, but then at the same time, lead you to the right place. So my friends Steven and Rod are having their 30th anniversary together. And their house, though, they had a water leak. And so they're having the party at another friend's office, which is beautifully decorated. All that stuff. It's going to be a great party there. And I had on my calendar that party was this past Saturday night. Todd's out of town. So I was going to go to this thing all by myself. So we have our day. I come home, take a nap, get all dressed up. I'm in all black, and then I've got like a silk scarf around my neck. I've got a little diamond ring on this finger and a diamond tennis bracelet on this arm. And I'm trying to think what else. Oh, and my like Gucci mules, right? So putting on the show for everybody. Call the Alto, get the Alto, or call an Alto, like not really call them, but like in the app. Alto's like Uber. Come pick me up. Take me to this place, and he was like a block away, and he missed a turn, and there's a lot of one-way streets in that area where this office is, and so I was like, just stop here. I'll get out of the car. I'll walk because it would be faster than doing all the roundabouts and then, and then charging and all that kind of stuff. So I walk up to the office, and thank God it was at someone's office. I walk up to the office, and it's dark, and I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on? Where's the party? So I open up my email. It was actually a text that I opened up my text to look at the invite. Party's this Saturday. It wasn't even that night. Have y'all done that? I actually have a history of this. Todd always is like, no, are you sure the party is this night? Because here's the thing that I do. And I usually do it very, very well. As you can imagine, we get invited to lots of things. I put it in my calendar, and once it's in my calendar, that is like the gospel right there. That is what is truth and guiding us for this thing, right? And so I put it in there, and I've started to now copy and paste the details of the invitation and put them in that invite as well, so I can look at that too, just in case I get the day wrong or whatever. Well, it turns out I did. I missed it by a Saturday. I was in the middle. I remember when I got the invite, I was in the middle of something else, and so I think I just got distracted and didn't realize what week I was on. But anyway, so the party wasn't there. So then I'm like, fuck. And it was kind of dark where I was. Again, needed a taser and a flashlight, Monica. It's kind of dark where I was, but it was on the Cedar Springs, the strip where all the gay bars are in Dallas. JR's, the Roundup, Village Station, called S4 now, all that kind of stuff, right? About 2 blocks down from that. So I didn't want to stay where I was because I was all by myself. The only thing on this block was darkness and a bus stop. So I walked down the street to in front of this apartment complex called the Illume. And the Illume is like a big gay apartment complex. It was designed to be like part of the neighborhood down there, all that kind of stuff. So I am standing in front of it, and I called my Alto to come back to get me. And by the way, this ended up being a $60 error, $30 each way. But I called it to come back and get me. And I am standing there, and I'm just kind of leaning against the wall, playing on my phone or something, waiting for him to get there. And I kid you not, this midget named Sarah walks up to me, just out of the blue from around the corner. This midget comes walking around the corner, comes up to me. We're allowed to say midget, right? Little person? I don't know. I'm not saying it with any ill intent or anything like that. I am just describing to you what happened in the situation. That's the little disclaimer. Don't cancel me, please. So Sarah walks around the corner towards me, and then she's got this guy with her. No, it's little person. I'm not supposed to say, okay. This little person walks around the corner, and she's got this guy who's not a little person named Patrick with her. Another reason I know all of this is because there was a whole conversation that happened. They walk up to me, and Sarah is dressed in like a very homely, like it looked like maybe like a grandmother's tablecloth of a dress. And Patrick is there, and he's just in like big ass cargo shorts, like suburban dad kind of shorts. I think he was wearing maybe Tevas or something and all that. And they walk by, and I'm leaning against the wall, and Patrick stops, and he's like, "Hey, you holding up that wall?" And I'm like, "No, I'm just waiting on my car to come pick me up." And he was like, "Oh, well, you may have seen this before, but we come out here and we make sure that we talk to everybody about their relationship with God and Jesus." And I'm like, "Oh, Jesus." And as a backstory, for those of you who are not aware, I do believe in God. I pray on the regular. I occasionally go to church, all of that kind of stuff. But I'm not like where it's not necessarily always super biblical. It's more like just spiritual. And so I can't like quote the Bible and all that kind of stuff. So he's talking to me, and I'm like, and he's like, their relationship with God. And I'm like, in my brain, I'm like, oh my God, this guy thinks I'm a hooker. He thinks I am down here just waiting on a John to come pick me up or something. Because I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I probably did look like a hooker down on Cedar Springs. But I'm there, and he's like talking. He goes, "Do you believe in God?" And I was like, "I do, actually. Thank you." And they were both kind of like, "Really?" I just I have instant Jesus. Monica says, "Yes, I'm a follower of instant Jesus." That is a reference that if you are not a long-time follower of Cooped Up, you do not get, and you won't get in this episode. So then they're talking about, and he's like, "Well, you have to love him with your whole heart and put him first," which in my brain was telling me that he is like saying you need to set aside your homosexuality so that you can follow God. And I'm like, I said something to the effect of, I have the exact relationship with God that I would like to have. Thank you very much. I think he made me exactly who I am, how I am, where I am, when I am. and I very much am good with us, basically, right? And I also said, I was like, and I was raised in the Catholic Church, and in the Catholic Church, you were taught that your relationship with God is nobody else's business. I did tell him that. Not super confrontational. I did it with like a smile on my face and love in my heart, but still very much like, uh-huh. And then Sarah, who hasn't been talking in this whole thing, again, the little person named Sarah. So it is the three of us standing there. It is little person Sarah, dressed like she's at a Little House on the Prairie reunion. Me, dressed like I'm at a gay hooker convention. And Patrick, like he's going to, well, I don't know what he's going to. What do straight men go to that dress like that? The big, it was in like the cargo shorts that like go down to your knees and they're really, really loose and that kind of thing. And just like a button up short sleeve shirt, that sort of thing. Anyway, could not have been a weirder group of three people. But Sarah is like, well, do you have a home church? And I said, well, I have a church that I consider my home church. Mentioned what it was, all that stuff, and gave it an actual name. I wasn't trying to be Home Depot. Yes, he looked like he was going to Home Depot, David. Yes. And yeah, a hooker and a pussy bow blouse. Ooh, I got 3 of those in the mail this weekend. They're all wrinkly. I can't show them to you yet. But anyway, no, I wasn't in a pussy bow blouse. Sorry, not dress. I don't wear dresses. But I do wear blouses. But anyway, so we're talking though, and I give the church a name just so that they know that like it's a legit church and it is Methodist. And I said Methodist, and both of them were kind of like, ugh, Methodist. It's like light church. None of that damnation or anything like that. So Monica's like, so they went down to the gay bar area to share the love of Jesus. That is exactly what they do. They go down there on the regular. They were like, you've probably seen us down here. I'm like, oh, girl, I didn't say this, but in my brain, I was like, oh, you obviously think I am much younger than I am. And the Botox is working. And that I come down here. That was probably the first time I'd been down to that area 3-5 years. I couldn't even tell you what the inside of JR's looks like right now. If they've renovated, if they haven't, if they had a fire, I don't know what it looks like. But yeah, they go down there so which is also the fact that they go down there specifically to share the love of Jesus Christ also led me to believe that they were doing it because they don't believe what's happening down in that area is right. Which I cannot co-sign on to that. But anyway, just in time, my Alto pulled up. And the only thing that would have made this story better is if my Alto driver's name was Jesus. Like that would have been like the icing on the cake, the cherry on the top. I may find a way to retell this story at some point, and I may take some artistic license and make the Alto driver's name Jesus at the end, because that would be like the perfect ending to this. But anyway, so I had a bruised ego, $60 poorer, but I got a good story out of it. Todd was in Pasadena, and I texted him. And he's like, I literally spit out my drink at dinner when I told him that I'd done it again. And then I get home and the kids are like, why are you back? So then I tell them and they're like, oh my God. So what is Sandy is saying, I did that in 2018. It was a dinner party at a couple's house that I had not met before. Oh my God. I am so glad mine was at an office, and that the only reason people know about this is because I've chosen to tell them that I didn't just show up. So I show up, there are teenagers in the pool, no cars anywhere. The couple comes running out and we're like, it's tomorrow. I brought macarons for a hostess gift. I'm like, here, and fled. I did go back Sunday night. Well, at least she did go back. Oh my God. Yes. That's just crazy. So, and then, well, do y'all just want to hang on? I'll be right back on camera. The things I ordered, since I haven't been on in a few days, I'll go a little bit long. So I've already ordered my Halloween costume. It just arrived. I ordered this from Tipsy Elves, and I'm going to be a mummy for Halloween. And this is a, why does that have it zips up the back. So it's like a onesie, but it's a mummy. How cute is that? I ordered from them last year, and I was a piñata, and it was a big hit. Super comfy. It's like one piece. wear whatever the hell I want under it. It's basically like a sweatshirt. And then I ordered from the Ross Matthew collection. I can't. What's the name of the company? It's called Mayer Pussy Bow shirts. I love a pussy bow. If you don't know what a pussy bow is, I'll educate you. Wait, am I sitting on this? Yes, I am. Pussy bow is a shirt where it's got like you tie it just like a shoelace around your neck, and it has a big bow. And so I bought this one. So I wanted it in black. They didn't have it in black. They were sold out. But I bought, so for black tie dinner and other engagements, I have a black silk one already. This or silk. I don't know if they actually make silk. So I bought a hot pink one. And again, so this ties like this, and it like makes like a big floppy bow. I got that one. That's the more subtle one. I got this one here, which is a really pretty pattern. And when it's tied in a bow, you can sort of see it's sort of tied in a bow right there. Do you see that? This one's really pretty on. And then the pink one is a little much, but is there such thing as too much? And then this one, which is unbuttoned now, but pretty pattern too. Isn't that pretty? So Ross Matthews, who does stuff. I think he co-hosts with Drew Barrymore, her show. He's a guest judge on RuPaul's Drag Race, where he wears these a lot. Has like started a line of these types of shirts and stuff. And so I ordered a few of them. Anyway, that's the stuff that arrived this weekend too. And I ordered Carrie, if you're still watching. I ordered the Lucite coffee table book thing that you have. That you posted on things it's like an X that or why did I do X like that instead of like that? It's like an X, and you put the coffee table book flipped open to whatever page you want. You put like a weight or something in the middle of it. And I've got, of course, the Dolly Parton book on the coffee table now. So that came also. So Sandy loves the Pussy Bow shirts. I do. They look so good. I do need to maybe lose a few more pounds. I've put on about 5 pounds, and so I need to lose it again. Just so that it's more of a flat surface. So the bow is the biggest thing sticking out, not the tendrils of the bow. Anyway, alrighty. Well, I think I caught everyone's comments, and apologies to any little people out there or relatives for using the wrong word for that. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important that you were loved. I love that you watched this. Thank you so much. I miss you when I'm away. Take care of yourself. No, don't should yourself to death. No good comes from should. And I will see you next time, which I don't know exactly when that's going to be, but it'll be this week for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Bye.